As Gaston Bachelard writes in his work, The Poetics of Space, the house shelters daydreaming, the house protects the dreamer, the house allows one to dream in peace. He writes about the way our memories are anchored to places, specifically to the homes that we live in, and he describes, among other things, the way the house is like a nest, a place to take shelter from the outside world. Just like many people have, I've lived in many different houses through my life. I've always felt a strong connection to a few in particular though. Memories of the outside world will never have the same totality as those of the home, and by reality, these memories we add to our store of dreams. This is a photo of my childhood home. My brother and I called it the Rainbow House because of the way that my mum decided to repaint it red, yellow and blue. And this is the tree house that we built around the side. It was terribly structurally unsound, but it was a fun activity. And when I look at this photo, I always remember the texture of the lily-pilly bark. I always remember the texture of the lily-pilly bark underneath my fingers, how sort of bubbly and rough it was. And this is a photo of my grandma's house taken in her backyard. Whenever I think of her house, I think of how it smelled like smoke and dinner cooking in the kitchen always. And when I think of the garden, I think of the kumquat tree my grandfather planted and how we'd try to eat the kumquats every time despite how sour they were. We could never get through them. And this is a photo taken at my family's old property in Red Hill. The two houses were linked between a long decking, and I remember walking between each of them. I remember the feeling of having to walk slowly, especially if it was wet, so as to not slip. And I remember that in the paddocks, you could often hear the sound of scare guns firing off from the nearby cherry farms to scare off the foxes. This is the party diagram of my design. It starts with the long datum, just a wall through the centre. On one side is the house, the main house, and the other is the semi-detached flat. The house is designed to engage the senses in multiple ways, senses being used as vehicles to create new memories. The sense of sound is utilised by the sound of water, which trickles down when it rains beneath the ramp between both houses through the water retention pond. As you enter the house, you enter into the long corridor, and through this corridor floats the smell of dinner. When you reach the end of the house, once travelling through the heart of the building, you can jump across stones which cover the pond's opening, a kind of childlike play, but for everybody. The main house block is divided into 3 separate sections. First, there's the surfaces, which is the garage, the entrance, and the laundry. In the very centre is all the private areas, the bedrooms and bathrooms and a study, flexible spaces. And at the end, closest to the beach, is the living area, lounge room, beneath the living area and kitchen, through which a rammed earth chimney runs right through. These arrows indicate what the access is like from the house through either the garage or down the ramp and to the side into the main building, or to the end of the ramp and you loop back around into the flat. And then these arrows describe how both houses can be accessed from the beach trail.
I love the house because we've got windows sticking out from our bedroom. And we can see them and look and wave to each other. And there's even a window where you can see the sky.
And when the day is done, traces of activity blur through the frosted glass facade like shadow puppets behind a curtain. The slow movement of bedtime dances across it until the light has been turned out. The house shelters the family from the outside world and for that night it becomes their nest. Thank you.